I'm so happy, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worry about
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. Greetings, schools and lab brats alike, and welcome to yet another episode of the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros, a horror movie discussion podcast where I, the titular Hobbesy, and my good buddy RJ take you on a haphazard romp through this week's film du jour. How you doing today, RJ?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. And if somebody wants to be talkative over here, we have a little special guest,
Oh,
Chucky.
yes. Oh,
I
yeah.
hope that went through very well, but that is my doll slash popcorn bucket Chucky, which is very fitting for today's episode.
All right, very near and dear to the heart. We heard a little bit of noise there. It should
Oh,
have picked
okay.
up a little
Well,
bit.
he seems to want to talk when you don't say his name, so if you hear it in the background at any point, he's just being a little chatty Cathy.
Oh yeah. He's been doing it all pre-recording. It's been fun. Maybe when the episode goes up, we'll post maybe a clip of him or something to the socials, as it were. Yeah, so we have our special guest Chucky with us today, as we are going to be doing 1988's Child's Play, a film that we took no notes for some reason.
Because we know the movie.
Because we allegedly know the movie. RJ knows the movie. I don't know anything ever. But I'm familiar enough with the movie that I knocked out a bunch of bonus questions as RJ quizzed me. Yesterday?
Yeah. It went completely on my sails. I thought I had some good fun facts. I mean, they are good. They are way
They are
juicy
good,
fun
yeah.
facts and way better than the previous episode where we found nothing. But
Yeah, right.
he literally knew every fun fact that I had.
We have lots of information about this film. There's many much facts. Yeah, it was fun. It's fun knowing things that you didn't know you knew too, kind of technically. Anyway, yeah. I'm doing well myself. I completely skipped over myself. I think I'm doing all right? A little bit tired, a little bit here, a little bit there. The single day off in the middle of the week or whatever. Going into starting another work week is you just want to sleep the whole day. But yeah, well, I'm here and I'm semi-ready. Got my water, good to go. Things we have looking forward to this week, which we discussed this previously, and your little things like they're still coming up technically, even though time is a weird illusion for us in our recording sessions.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, this should still be relevant, but I believe it's the final house for Halloween Horror Nights. I'm not totally sure on that, but they announced an Insidious house, which could be on a future episode. You never know because it's a great series. Go
I
watch it.
I
But
don't.
that
Oh, no, continue. I'm
you've
sorry.
not seen those.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the Insidious films. I don't think I've seen any of them.
Oh, we need to fix that, buddy. We definitely those. Ooh, they're good. They are. There's I think like 4 or 5 of them, something like that.
I know it
Like
was
one, yeah, because one just recently came out, but oh,
right.
it's good.
It was kind of the whole like paranormal activity kind of era phase of things, and the like the Conjuring
These
and
are good.
everything. Okay, but
Well, Conjuring's good too. Paranormal.
everything just kind of got rolled together, and I just never saw them. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Chatterbox over here.
Oh yeah, he's
Anyways.
going off now. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah. But yeah, we definitely need to fix that because that's a good series. I like the series. It's good. Like I
So
said, I think there's like 4 or 5 of them, but they are good.
so before Halloween Horror Nights, I guess we're gonna have to binge Quiet Place.
Yeah, well, that one's easy. It's only 2 movies out and one in theaters.
Right. I've seen the first one.
Oh, see, you only have to watch the second
So
one.
I haven't seen the second one. Like I said previously, I didn't even know there was a second one. And I guess see the third one.
Yeah, that one just came out 2 weeks ago.
Right. However
Yeah.
many weeks ago it is at this point when in the recording releases.
Oh yeah, time.
Time, fun things, and yeah. So just got a couple things to binge, I guess. Get through the whole the whole Conjuring universe, not Conjuring, Insidious universe, and Quiet Place, and then experience them at Halloween Horror Nights. Plenty of time for
Or
that.
you can just go into a blind. That'd be fun too.
That could be fun as well. Hmm. I mean, if I'm walking through with my eyes closed for a quarter of it, I'll be blind anyway, so.
True.
I know I'm not funny. I'm sorry. I'm not the funny one. I was never meant to be the funny one. Oh, that's fun. That's cool. You had another thing on the docket, right? I believe.
Yeah, apparently there's going to be a Boondock Saints
Oh yeah,
3,
that's right.
which I'm not sure how I feel about that because I don't know I think we've discussed this before, but I don't know like how big of a fan of Boondock Saints you are. First one was good, second one, eh. So not exactly, I don't know how to feel about third one.
I don't think they should make it. Like I like the first
Yeah,
one.
I'm kinda on that side too. I'm just like, yo, you already kinda messed it up with the second one.
Right. Like I like the first one. I think it's a little overhyped for what it is, but I like it. It's a good movie. I never
Hmm.
saw the second one, but I have heard not good things about it.
I mean, one good thing is they do have the original cast, Norman Reedus, and I can't think of the other guy's name. But they are, coming back for the third one. But at
And
the same
that's
time, it's
cool
like,
and
yo,
all,
can we
but
can we have an original thought in 2024, or are we just gonna keep remaking and bringing back old shit?
right. Uh, yeah, no, like I said, I don't think they should make it. I don't think it should be a thing, but we're in an age of revitalization because we were talking about this yesterday, I think it was. And like Beverly Hills Cop, what, 4 just came out on streaming services or whatever.
Which
Um,
I heard, which I heard is actually pretty good, but I have not seen it yet.
I imagine it probably is. I mean, Eddie Murphy pretty much can do no wrong.
Oh,
Like,
I mean,
I
Axel Foley as a character is amazing and
great character,
hilarious,
yes.
and yes,
Um, yeah, like, so yeah, I can see it being all right. There's another thing. We're just talking about movies now, I guess. Like, we're just taking the little horror, turning off the horror sign for a moment. Uh, Shrek 5. Why? We don't need another
oh,
Shrek.
dude, they just had Despicable Me 4, which is me since that was such a big successor, having a Minions 3.
Yeah,
I've never seen any of these.
never. I've seen the first Despicable Me, and I think I've seen the second
I
one.
haven't seen
Um,
any.
I
And I'm pretty sure the Shrek series, I've seen the first one. Thanks, Chuck. I've seen the first one, and I think I've seen the second one, and that's it.
and yeah, I think
Nobody's saying your
same.
name.
He's just in it, man. He's got opinions.
Yeah,
He hears us
I
talking about
mean,
Shrek, and he's got feelings about that.
apparently, my bad. I'll get on that, Chuck.
Right? Gotta
Okay,
respect
I'll
it.
get on the other 3 movies.
Oh man, but yeah, it's just we are in an age. I mean, we've been in an age of sequels forever. Marvel,
Yeah,
kept us firmly in an age of sequels.
All right. I was hyped about Marvel the first few years, but I will say I am getting a little Marvel fatigued. It's not stopping me from watching them,
I
but
think,
I am getting some Marvel fatigued. I'm not getting as hyped as I used to be for new Marvel stuff.
yeah, no, I think that's
And
Chuck
Chuck's not feeling it either, by
Chuck
the way.
agrees. I think that's the general consensus among most people who enjoy Marvel. I think everybody's just burned out between films and streaming series and this, that, and the bloody
Yeah.
other.
But speaking of that, I know it will already be out by the time this episode comes out, but Deadpool is coming out soon.
It's true. Deadpool and Wolverine. My butt will be in a seat for that, of course. Ryan Reynolds is daddy of the generation. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by what appears to be some kind of cocoon outside my window. That's exciting. Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on in the future and a lot of questionable shit going on in the future as well. I didn't bring anything to the table this week. Unfortunately. I will dip into music a little bit and say that as of today's recording, Eminem dropped his 12th album.
It is 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
And it
enjoyed
is
it.
good.
I enjoyed it a lot. I don't care what these young motherfuckers are saying about, oh, we need to cancel Eminem.
I
Yeah,
don't think
try it.
I don't think anybody
Generation
actually
before
is
us tried
though.
it. The generation after us is trying it. Nobody's getting it done.
I don't think anybody's actually trying to cancel Eminem though. That's the thing.
There's some people not happy about his lyrics.
I am very terminally online, as it were. I try not to be,
Yeah,
but
you are.
I live on
You
a
are
fucking
more
screen.
with I was gonna say you're more with the online consensus than what I am when it comes to certain things.
Right, I just lack the outrage of most people that are terminally online. Um, but yeah, I haven't really seen much in that direction. But like, it's the focus of the album, and I mean, it's cool. He lays it out. He's got a theme. It's fun. I feel like there are some references that are overdone and retreaded too many times over the course of the album, but otherwise it is hella fun. I had like the making like the ugly face head bobbing when he was really getting into the lyrics. Like,
Yeah,
he's
that's how you know. That's how you know it's good stuff.
yeah, no, he's still a pure lyricist, and like
Always, always.
feels good. Good album.
I
So
will.
that's the thing
I
I'll
will
say
die on
today.
the hill. I was gonna say I will die on the hill. Greatest rapper alive, greatest rapper of all time. People can fight me on that. I don't care. Eminem beats everybody.
Oh yeah, greatest multi-generational rapper. He's
I
been,
mean, he's been doing it for
I mean, he's 55 now. He's been
30
doing it over 30
years.
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
through multiple drug addictions, multiple going back to the same marriage and
controversies and
multiple.
court cases and
Exactly. So he's been doing. He's withstanding the test of time.
but I mean, he raised his daughter, he raised his niece, he adopted his niece, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Raised her. Fucking everybody's growing up well adjusted, it seems, and he still gets to say "fuck my kids," and everybody cheers. So, I mean, yeah, go Eminem. Good guy. Been through a lot. Put himself into his music and everything, and it's a good album. Temporary made me real sad, and I had to stop listening at that point. I think I made it a little bit further than that, but I went to sleep because I was listening to it at like 5:30 this morning. Yeah, good stuff. Anything else on the docket today? I used docket twice. I feel dirty now because I got nothing.
I think that pretty much covers it.
Alrighty then, that'll bring us to our subject for today, the film 1988's Child's Play, released on November 9th. And did I type popped? I typed propped. Never mind. I got it right. I'm not dumb, kids. Go back. Released on November 9th and propped up by a budget of 9 million, potentially up to 13 million USD. The film grossed 44.2 million at the box office, coming out to generally positive critical and audience opinion. As with many things, gaining cult status and spawning a franchise that is still running to this day. Peek behind the scenes.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just saying, peek behind the scenes as I fuck up the script, kids.
And then upon like this movie coming out, there was definitely some like pushback and some protest groups that actually went outside of MGM, who they produced the film, and they were protesting outside MGM Studios, and they actually took, I can't think of the guy's name. Thanks, Chuck. I can't think of the guy's name at MGM, but yeah, he apparently went down, talked to the kind of the head honcho of the protesters, 10-minute conversation, and dispersed, as you know, like I guess kind of one of the famous protestings of the movie. Which, curious what the guy said in 10 minutes.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, I wonder what he said to him. And we were talking about it when we were looking into it, and there was no name of the group, so it's not like it was like a known parents group or something.
Apparently they weren't important enough to have like a whole name like Matt or
Right.
any of those other parent groups back in the day, but it did not last very long. Let's put it that way.
Listen, if you don't get out of here, we're gonna release the dogs. Easy as.
Classic Mr. Burns. We're just gonna turn Chuck off for now.
Yeah, he's getting real chatty when you don't talk
He's
to
getting
him.
real mouthy over there.
Right? You try to get his attention, straight ignores you, like talking to a brick wall. As soon as you start talking about something, though, man is full of opinions. Cannot shut his mouth.
He starts talking now, though.
Then we
Might
have a
need to worry.
problem. Yeah. Then it's time to throw him in the fireplace and get the guns. Whatever we got to do.
No. Like, we could still be friends. Just
I don't know about that. I have memories of my childhood. And one of the first nightmares I can remember having was Child's Play related, and also Marshmallow Peeps related. And I don't know if there's a correlation between that and my feelings towards Peeps as an adult, but maybe.
say coming from the person who had a My Buddy doll shortly after Child's Play came out.
Yes, I had and still might have floating around somewhere a My Buddy doll, which were essentially kind of toddler-sized fucking dolls for little boys, and they would eventually come out to release Kid Sister, the doll for little girls matchup which if the My Buddy is still floating around somewhere, the Kid Sister is still floating around somewhere as well.
Which I think we have in our notes a little later. The movie did not do well. Did not My Buddy doll did not do well after this movie came out.
Right? Is that confirmed? Like
As imagined. As imagined. It
like that's funny
the
as
company
hell.
the company took a hit after this movie came out.
I mean, it was essentially Chucky and My Buddy are damn near indistinguishable, except Chucky blinks. Buddy does not blink, thankfully, because that would have. I had enough trauma as a kid. Buddy stayed in the closet for a good long time. We only played outside in the daylight where people could see us. But yeah, no, that's funny though. I find a great amount of humor in that. I guess moving on, directed by Spider-Man, by Spider-Man I mean Tom Holland. Probably not the same, but
It's not the same Tom Holland,
for
but that is the running joke we were saying all throughout the whole movie yesterday.
for Hobbesy horror canon, it's Spider-Man from now on, with screenplay by Don Mancini, John LaFia, and also Spider-Man. There's a funny bit about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say more to come on that a little later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. With the story by Mancini, which is also part of all the craziness. Oh shit! I don't know. We'll debate on whether we're gonna deep dive that still, because it's a lot. The film was produced by David Kirshner with cinematography by Bill Butler. I hope it's supposed to be Bill Butler because that's what I typed. The score by Joe Renzetti, which I remember I spelled that shit perfect because I'm an expert. And editing by Edward shit.
This is all you.
This is the name, eh? The one name of the episode that's gonna fuck me up. Edward Warshilka. Varshilka.
I mean, I think that's the best pronunciation you've had the last couple of days on this.
Yeah, I'm real sorry, Edward. I hope I got it right. And Roy E. Peterson. The film stars Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, Alex Vincent, and Brad Dourif in the role of Charles Lee Ray. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of Charles Lee Ray, how they came up with the main character's name, Charles Lee Ray. I thought this is a fun little fact that Hobbsy stole my thunder on.
Sorry,
because he already knew it. So basically, how they came up with his name was they took Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and kids who don't know who that is, assassinated John F. Kennedy,
allegedly,
and James Earl. Okay, and James Earl Ray, who assassinated Martin Luther King, and basically put all three of their names together, and you got Charles Lee Ray. And then, which you have a little bit more on this part. Apparently, this movie took some inspiration of a real life event of an alleged. I say alleged because I don't really do the whole possession thing and ghost thing and all that, but a possessed doll named Robert the Doll. And I'll give you the floor on this one since you know more about this than I do, because I literally found this out yesterday.
Yeah, Robert the Doll, fun little fact, is a fun piece of Florida history. Currently residing in his home city of Key West, Robert the Doll, much like Chucky, had a history of mischief. Though he never killed anyone directly or otherwise, to my knowledge, mostly he did a lot of roaming, running in the house, and being witnessed being rude to passing children from an upstairs window. Some people claim Robert is a fickle lad with the ability to curse those with whom he takes umbrage. You can go visit Robert in his home of Key West, and there are little rules and stuff around him, like asking permission for things. I don't know if you're allowed to take pictures with him. I think that's a no-no, but yeah.
I mean, there may have been discussions about a little podcast field trip to Key West to visit Robert the Doll.
I'm not joking about that. Like, I know we gotta wait until next year, but like,
I did not say there were
register.
jokes
Like,
made about visiting. I never said there were jokes made about visiting Robert the Doll. I said there was discussions about taking a field trip to Key West.
There's
probably going to be there's going to be ongoing discussions about when to do this.
We fucking put it on the calendar next year, all right? Season 2, baby. Season 2. We're going to have field trips, all right? Mark that shit. Go to St. Augustine, fuck around in some haunted-ass lighthouses and shit. Let's go, dude.
St. Augustine is fun. I have been there a few times and did a couple of the ghost tours.
I'm saying season 2, baby. Let's bring it out. Let's go. I'm here for it. Film some shit. Get real into it.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. A couple of other little facts that we found on the film. So the opening scene of the movie of pretty much Charles Lee Ray having like a little shootout with a cop. It actually takes place the same day the movie was released. They're both so it's basically when the movie came out, it was present day, November 9th, 1988, which I thought that was kind of interesting because most movies they just put present day instead of well, I guess technically they didn't put the date on there, but it does the first night of the movie does take place on the day it was released, and then the whole movie takes place over a total of 3 days.
That's a lot of
And
fun.
this is where we really got some juicy stuff on the movie.
Right.
So apparently, when the movie was, I guess, when they were starting production, the original title of the movie was gonna be Batteries Not Included, which they pretty much had to change that title because there's a Steven Spielberg movie, I believe came out the same year or the following. I think it was that year when they were starting out. A movie that Spielberg came out with was called Batteries Not Included. So they had to basically scrap that title and then come up with another title, which was Blood Buddy, which is kind of a play on the My Buddy doll. And the original concept on this, which is by Mancini, the one of the writers, was that he was a doll filled with blood, and if you played a little too rough with him, he would bleed. And um, basically, he would come to life when Andy was asleep. And if there's a part where, like, if Andy mixed his blood with the doll's blood, the doll would come to life and basically take out Andy, would take on Andy's anger and frustration of his parents' divorce and then attack his enemies.
I want to
Um,
see this. I want to see this one.
yeah. Oh, after reading this, I'm like, yo, where's this movie
Right.
at? So basically, from there, the producers at MGM are like, oh yeah, cool story, bro. We're gonna bring in Tom Holland, aka Spider-Man, to be the new writer and director to come up with something new. And he kind of rewrote, took from, the basically took from the doll and had it to where it was a possessed doll instead of like filled with blood, but they weren't exactly sure how the doll was going to be possessed. And so from there, Spider-Man, Tom Holland, ended up quitting the movie to direct another movie, which I can't remember what that movie was. They brought in, sorry, blanking on his name, John Lafia as a third writer who came up with the voodoo possession that actually does happen in the beginning of the movie, and that's how Charles Lee Ray possesses the doll and then becomes Chucky as we know it today. And apparently, nobody was really did not nobody really wanted the voodoo aspect in the movie, but I guess they didn't have a better idea, so they just stuck with it. And as far as I know, to this day, if all three of these writers are still alive, they are still bickering over who should get writing credits.
It's
So,
incredible.
and yeah, I forget who it was. There was a panel. I think it was like the writers panel, like some writers panel that actually presided over this three-way argument and basically gave credit to all all three writers, but then they also had to credit Mancini as it was his story because it was originally his story. And it is a wild story, and I definitely suggest if anybody is interested, look this up because we were definitely going down the rabbit hole last night on this
Right.
one.
I'm glad you expanded more on it because I know we like wrote out kind of an outline of what it was
Yeah,
and everything, but like
I mean, yeah, I was
there is
pretty
a
much going
lot of
off of like
information.
pretty much going off of memory of what I read last night. But yeah,
You
that
did great.
was essentially the gist of the story. I'm sure there's still more like meat and potatoes in the story, but it is definitely a fascinating read.
Yeah, that was wild. Just, definitely dive into that. That's a lot of fun. Wow. Yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the production notes and everything on it. If we can go ahead and hop into the trailer, if you're good.
I'm good when you are.
Cool. All right. I've got it pulled up and ready to go. Just give me the green light, Captain.
Green light.
Oh yeah. Holy shit, that's very loud. Gonna go ahead and hit the volume on that one. That old United Artists logo, man.
Everyone
Shit.
has a birthday they'll always remember.
Can we open my presents now, Mommy?
Oh, that's something angry on that.
I knew it!
Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Chucky.
He's something, isn't he?
This is Andy's.
Time for bed, Andy. Good night, baby.
I like how the old movies always have that voiceover.
Right. Very smooth voice.
Good night, Chucky.
Good night, Chucky. Have you ever seen this trailer before?
I have not. Again, this literally came out.
Everyone knows. Most
5
accidents
months before
happen
was
at
born,
I was gonna say, right?
so
Yeah.
I've never seen this trailer. No.
This is no accident.
There's some comments on that scene.
Detective
too,
Mike
'cause
Norris,
there's no
homicide.
way that horse
Miss Peterson's dead.
Yeah, no fucking way.
She jumped. You know what? I think
Someone's moved in with the
the
Barkley
window.
family.
She did it on purpose.
So,
Yeah.
there's terror.
I turned that down a little bit. Couldn't hear you there. That was trailer's getting a little intense.
Nobody believes you about Chucky.
There's a few times in the movie last night, like it would get really quiet and then really loud, and there was no one between.
Right?
Because I'm sane, Mrs. Barkley, sane and rational.
No
Sane and rational.
truth. Or lives to tell it.
I honestly still don't know how they explain this to the rest of the police force.
About murder.
Yeah, they never got that far into it.
You said it was a kid that they use in like some of the scenes where Chucky's walking, eh? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, because some of the scenes they used some animatronics, they used some, and then some of the other scenes they actually used, it was someone on the production staff's daughter
Oh, all right.
played in some of it, and I think like that one of the early scenes with Maggie, where you just kind of see like somebody run across the hallway real quick, but
Right.
you can't really make out who it is. I think that was like one of those times where they used an actual kid to play Chucky, but you obviously can't make out that it's a kid doing it, you know.
Oh yeah, it moves way too fast. I
Yeah.
kind of want to say I think that's possibly the best trailer we've watched.
To be honest, Jeffrey's body wasn't bad.
Now, Jennifer's Body had a good trailer, and it ran kind of the flow that the movie ran. I liked
Yeah.
it, but this one this was good. It gave nothing away, really.
I do the scene of like because it's like later in the movie of him stalking to like the room with the knife.
Yeah.
That's a cool little. There's a couple of cool little scenes that I've just loved every single time I've watched this movie.
Right. I'm going to have it running in the background as we go into talking about it. Yeah, but good trailer. Like I said, didn't give too much away. Had a nice sense of tension to it. Let you know what the movie was about. Gave us one kill. One very questionable kill. But I think we can
I
go
think
ahead
that was
and
just instead of suicide by cop, I think it was just suicide by doll.
right. General Dollicide. With that, I realized, and we talked about this, I only did like my own little personal like summary for like the first maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and I feel bad because I wanted to get I like those, and I want to do those, and I like writing them because it gives me a chance to have fun with words, while also adding my spin to the topic at hand. But instead, I will just go ahead and I will read a quick little plot summary. We're going to steal it right from Wikipedia, and we're going to give credit to Chris Hopson, chris.hopson@gmail.com. You'll find it right on the wiki. I'm not doxing anybody. Anyway, their description: a struggling single mother unknowingly gives her son a doll imbued with a serial killer's consciousness. When Charles Lee Ray needs to get a quick escape from cop Mike Norris, he takes his soul and buries it into playful, seemingly good guy doll, Chucky. Little does he know a little boy by the name of Andy Barclay will be the new owner of him soon to come. Charles confides in Andy while he commits numerous murders, and once the adults accept Andy's story as truth, it's too late. Thanks, Chris Hopson. That's a great plot summary for this film. And
the voice you have just made it so much better too. I'm not gonna lie.
oh, thanks. I hope it comes through well on the recording.
And by the way, did not know the detective's last name was Norris because they only called him Mike the whole time.
Yeah, they only ever refer to him
Charles
as
Lee
Mike.
Ray never had a fucking chance with the last name of Norris. I'm just saying.
Right. Mike Norris? Yeah, no, you're fucked, son. Sorry, bud. You had the wrong detective today. And that's how the movie starts out. We have Charles Lee Ray in a gunfight with a detective. How do you feel about this as the opening presentation for the film?
I thought it was, because it like really starts with a bang. You obviously don't know what's going on or anything like that. Especially, well, I can't really say I didn't know what was going on with it
Right.
This movie again came out before I was born, so I knew the movie before I actually watched the movie. But like not knowing what's going on in the movie for like a new audience, I thought it was kind of cool. You literally get like right into the action of it.
Definitely, and I mean that's how any good story is supposed to start, in the action. But yeah, it does a great job starting right off in the action. We don't know the relation between these two. I think there's some dialogue, however, that hints at it. Charles shows up into a toy store, and yeah, he's been shot by Detective Mike.
I was gonna just interject there. The little bonus little fun fact that toy store was actually in real life a closed down Chinese restaurant,
That's right, and that's impressive.
and that they turned into a toy store for the movie.
It's a very convincing toy store. It looks very
It
large.
really is.
I don't know that I want to say I've never seen a Chinese restaurant that big, but then I remember that it's not a Chinese restaurant, but we have the Japanese restaurant down in the Wally World Plaza, and it's almost like walking into a department store size, just Asian buffet. So yeah, I guess I could see it. But yeah, that is fun. But they did a great job with the setting. It all looks great, I guess. Just the scene dressing and everything. I wouldn't have known that we were in a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, we have a climax. Charles gets shot in the chest and makes a statement that he will get revenge on both Mike and his former partner, Eddie.
Eddie Caputo.
And yeah, it goes through with the whole voodoo thing. So I also didn't know that wasn't initially an idea in the original story, and that it was kind of just like tacked in later and then held on to, even though nobody wanted it.
Yeah, nobody wanted it in the movie apparently, but again, this is my opinion. Just kind of from what I've read on it. Nobody had a better idea, so they just stuck with it.
Right, that's wild. I mean, it works, and it's spawned a whole franchise. The last films, I mean, the last film takes it even further, where Chucky starts transferring parts of his soul into other bodies and whatnot.
Yeah, that gets fun.
Right, never seen it, but I know some premise. So yeah, I mean, they stuck to the voodoo plot, and they held it for a good the whole series franchise. Good on them. This whole opening scene is a very long segment, and they run the credits over all of it. But we get a really badass voodoo induced storm effect. The beginning of this voodoo chant, related to another film, is referenced in Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. I don't know if you knew that, but fun fact. That will one day be an episode, because it's a great movie.
That was a fun movie too.
Yeah, definitely. I had to make some concessions for next season. Otherwise, every movie on my list was going to be a comedy horror, and I couldn't do that.
It's a bad thing.
Well, no, it's not a bad thing, but I mean, it's too much of one thing. We gotta space it out, savor it. I like the fact that there is a Cantonese restaurant next door to this, and I kind of got to wonder if that was the one that was in this building initially. I don't know if you had noticed that during this particular part. I just happened to glance up while it was running, and I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's funny, huh? I wonder, or if it was the sign for the building itself? Question mark? Question mark? More fun facts to try to delve into and discover. But let me pop over, make some screen adjustments real quick, because we get Charles Lee Ray's alleged death, and Mike thinking he has done his job, and we pretty much go on. We're introduced next to Andy. He'll be the next character that we're introduced to, making breakfast for his mother in bed on the morning of his birthday, which
it's Breakfast of Champions, by the way. Bowl of cereal with way too much milk and cereal all over the table, burnt ass toast with the biggest glob of butter you'll ever see, and because who cares about cholesterol,
right? And it's not just a bowl of cereal; it's a bowl of like some sugar-filled fruit cereal that he then proceeds. It's the thought that counts, right? That he then proceeds to put a mountain of sugar on top of. I mean, yeah, if you're just trying to...
He's 6, bro.
Look, if you're trying to have a diabetic coma in bed, if you're trying to like go night-night for the long time, yeah, sure.
That was diabetes in a meal.
I also have some other questions about this cereal, because it looks like it's like Trix or something.
It's probably good guy cereal, since he has good guy everything,
including
good guy pajamas that he just doesn't change out.
Yeah, he never takes them
the
off
whole day and the next day.
The cereal looks kind of like Trix, but then there's like big ass fucking gingerbread cookie looking good guy pieces in it, and I'm wondering who
good guy cereal.
Who the fuck's eating cookies soaked in milk in a bowl? Question mark? But
real question.
I mean,
you never had Oreos and milk?
Well, yeah, no,
Vanilla
totally. But
wafers
like,
and milk?
I don't put that shit in a bowl and slap milk on top of it. But I do remember that I do cube up carrot cake and put it in a bowl and put milk on top of it. So I am kind of a heathen in my own right. Way off topic. He makes this breakfast for his mother. I think it's just kind of a bribe to get her to let him open his presents really early in the morning. And we get very ungrateful Andy, who is...
I'm sorry. Okay, no. See, I have a problem with that, when he starts opening the presents. And, of course, the kid's going to want the biggest box on there. And as a parent... I'm sorry, the kid's gonna go for the biggest fucking present, and you put clothes in a
Yeah.
big ass box, making him think it's something else.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry. You're setting yourself up for failure there.
no, fuck that. The kid set himself up for failure by having unrealistic expectations of his mother. Fuck that child, first and foremost. Um, yeah, who cares if she put the clothes in the big box? Even if she knew that it would draw his eyes first, because he'd be like, "Oh shit, big box, that must be my good guy doll."
And then proceeds to, oh yeah, you needed clothes. Like the fucking 6-year-old's gonna care about goddamn clothes.
I don't give a fuck. He needed clothes. What's your point? Fuck that kid, ungrateful
You don't-
piece of shit.
Okay,
What?
I'm not saying don't get the kid clothes. I'm just saying don't put it in the biggest fucking box to where you know that's gonna be the first thing he wants to open.
It's gonna be a good thing. I don't have kids, and I may never have kids because I'm gonna be that asshole. I'm gonna have that shit the size of the fucking PS fucking 7. I'm gonna have it laid out there. You know what's gonna be in that motherfucker? A weed whacker. I'm gonna send that little bitch out in the yard to do some work. This is another discussion that may have already been had, but it wasn't had between us personally. Children were born for the minds, okay? If they're not contributing to society, then we have a problem. Also, my opinions are not real. They're just jokes, and they are not the actual opinions of the House of Hobbes or Hobbesy Horror Inc. Our lawyers tell me I have to say that. Anyway.
Anyway.
But yes, pants in the box Discord aside, she gets an opportunity because she has to go to work. They live in this really nice, like upscale New York apartment, and I don't know how she's paying for it off of department store wages. Like I know,
because they force her to take on shifts she doesn't want to work.
I mean, yeah, she might as well be like collared and chained to her desk. But
she works 14-hour shifts with like a 2-hour break.
Wild, man. Workers' rights, a hell of a drug.
It's the 80s, man. Good thing we weren't alive then.
I know. I mean, when you were
Or
talking
at
about it,
least
it's like,
working then.
yeah, your boss can't tell you have to work. You have to take up this extra, shift. And I don't know,
They do
man.
in
Like
that
the
department
80s,
store,
like
apparently.
this is a different time. But yeah, she ends up getting her good guy doll for Andy. From a bum's shopping
From a
cart.
homeless person.
An unhoused, if we are being correct about it, an
did
unhoused
whittle him down
person's. That is
She did
true.
whittle them down to $35 when the original asking price was $50.
Right? $100 by itself off the shelf, $50 from the man, $30. Did it go to 35? I think it was just 30.
I believe it was either 30 or 35, one or the other.
Either or. Oh yeah, and we get the New Yorker thing. It is. I've only been to New York once, but I felt it in my soul. We're introduced to, yes, Karen's really shithead boss, who I swear this is the kind of guy who spent too much time in like a locker in his high school years. Real fun at parties, seems like. I'd punch him in the throat. But yes, this is where she gets informed, hey, I need you to work tonight. Complains about it being her son's birthday. She's got to pick a kid up. Angie, dear sweet New Yorker Angie, offers.
Maggie.
Was it Maggie? I'm so sorry, Maggie. You're not Angie. Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't last long anyway. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it wasn't that important of a character, I guess. But offers to go watch Andy and spend the eve while Karen has to work.
And as she puts it, her hottest date of the week.
Hottest date
Andy.
of the week. Really weird thing to say, but I mean, all right. That's your humor, I guess. Andy actually does end up not in his jammies in the afternoon session of this, because he's wearing, weirdly enough, the same thing he wears the next day. The football jacket and all that good shit. But now he is presented with his I almost said my buddy, my good guy doll, his good guy doll. Excuse me, I'm having flashbacks of childhood trauma as we speak. And surprisingly, right out of the box, Chucky works. You get the, hi, I'm Chucky, your friend to the end. Heidi ho, ha ha ha. And moving right along, we get towards bedtime. Andy's been playing with Chucky all evening. I almost called her Angie again, and I'm real sorry, Maggie. Maggie's snacking cake, but this is the first time we get a movement out of Chucky that seems kind of fucked up, where he's acknowledging or watching himself on the news as the tale of the, oh hell, I forgot what his killer name is.
It's just something strangler.
The Lake something Strangler. I feel so bad for not having that off the top of my head. But yeah, he takes up interest in watching himself on the news. And it's bedtime for Andy, but he turns around, gets down real close, and puts his ear to Chucky, as though he's being whispered to. And it's kind of a creepy effect, really, when you're thinking about watching this. This kid is a really good actor. We were talking about that while watching it. He's
probably the best actor in the whole movie.
Right, probably the best actor in the whole movie. Yeah, it's kind of wild. But yes, he informs Maggie that Chucky wants to watch the 9 o'clock news, to which she picks them both up, manhandling Chucky and carrying him by the arm. To bed. I don't know why she took Andy to bed first when she calls back to him while she's in the kitchen again, asking if he's brushing his teeth. I don't know why she didn't just like send him to do that first and skip the step, but I guess we need the movie fluff.
She's not a parent.
I guess.
And just send him to bed, and then, oh shit, he needs to brush his teeth. Okay, brush your teeth and go to bed.
Right. And she is surprised by the TV turning on. To which she walks out in the living room and finds Chucky sitting in a chair watching the news once more. Once everybody's in bed, we get our first kill of the film. Well, the second kill of the film, if we're counting. Second. I was going to say, if we're counting the body of Charles Lee Ray. Yeah, the second kill of the film. Which is questionable at best. I guess not questionable in the kill itself. You know, Chucky picks up his good guy toolbox hammer and gives her a good walloping. But the force with which she flies out of the window is no average tumble that you can see her taking inside. And it definitely looks like she
definitely
right. She did it for the dramatics by that point.
She was definitely getting attention, and she probably forgot how high up she was, and then smashed through a car.
Right? Because
you got your attention.
She comes out the window, like she's going backwards, but she comes out that window in like a full force dive, like Supermaning out. Which I'm actually also surprised that she didn't clear the car and land further in the street with all that force. How you feeling at this point in the film? Technically, I think this is where we get the first person view of Chucky, which you mentioned liking those kind of camera views.
This is kind of like one of my favorite scenes in the movie, because you don't see Chucky actually like moving around. Like you get like little glimpses of something, but you can't tell if it's Chucky or if it's Andy, because they're technically dressed in the same clothes.
Right.
Because he's wearing his good guy pajamas that look just like the same good guy outfit that, you know, the doll is wearing. And then every time Chucky moves in the beginning of the movie, you get like it's that first person perspective, so you can't tell like, is it Andy, is it Chucky, you know? But they hint at Chucky moving around and all that, but they never actually show him doing it. So I thought that was like really, really cool how they kind of still kept it, not, I don't want to say secretive, but they still kind of kept it under wraps.
Right, like you can see some allusion to that initial concept of wanting to keep people questioning whether it's Andy or whether it's Chucky. it definitely gives more away in this version of the tale. So yeah, I would like to see I'd still like to see the blood buddy cut. But yeah, no, the first person camera sequencing and the kind of whodunit guesswork it's good. It's fun. I like it. And if I was going into it blind, I have to wonder if I would already have caught on to it. I mean, I suppose in the beginning you kind of get the whole voodoo sequence and everything of him transferring his soul, so you know what's going on regardless. But if that just so happened to slip by you, unfortunately they make it more blatant. But I think it would have been more fun, yeah, if they had played with the concept of like, is it actually Andy, or otherwise we're just sitting here feeling sorry for this kid who's being treated like he's fucking nuts, when his doll actually is killing people. I know after that we get to Karen getting off work and coming home to it, and nobody stops her initially going into the building. She doesn't get questioned.
Real bad police work.
Right.
Like, she just goes right under the police tape, straight up the building, all the way up to her floor, and then just outside of her door, that's when the cop goes, hey, oh, I live here.
Right.
Okay.
It's not until she's on her floor that she gets questioned.
Then you get the glimpse of the cop on the couch reading the newspaper while everybody else is working.
Yeah, these guys are all just
Great
kind of
police
fucking
work.
chilling. Like, New York's finest, I guess. But they just be chilling. I think it's in New York, right?
What I read was it was like a big city, either New York or
Either
Chicago.
New York or
but
Chicago.
I was going New York just because of Maggie's accent, to be honest.
Right. It feels more New York, but I guess
feels
they
very
just
New
left
York.
it ambiguous. That's fair. I didn't know if there was a set location for it. Was there any information on where it was filmed?
I
don't know that
anything
ever
about
got any
where.
about that. Yeah, that's something to double check. We'll go back and double check that at some point. The things we may miss, like I said, there was a lot of information in the background of the film, but we get the questioning of Andy, Karen getting really defensive and getting everybody out of her house, Mike seeming like a kind of a good guy, you know, not questioning it, and then Andy kind of fucking around at the end, as the police are leaving, comes running out to mention that he knows who was on the counter.
Well,
And
they found they had the
footprints on the counter.
On the counter, and then that's when Mike Norris wanted to check Andy's Bob of Andy's shoes, but he said that he already cross-referenced the footprints with Andy's actual shoe, and it wasn't the same size.
Right, so it's
Andy
weird. He wanted
Andy
to
sees
look
the
at
bottom
his.
of Andy sees the bottom of Chucky's feet, and it's covered in flour.
Right, and he didn't clean it all. Like Karen, his mom, comes to his room after everything and like sits on the bed and whatnot, like right in front of Chucky, and it's not suspicious that the flour's there, Karen. I don't think she ever mentions it. I don't think it ever comes up. I don't think Andy points it out to her. He just kind of gets silenced and pushed under the rug. Poor kid.
I mean, but you do get the pretty good line of Andy saying, mentioning that his real name is Charles Lee Ray, and that Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
Yeah. Man.
That was a quote from Chucky through Andy.
Rips hard. Rips hard coming from the kid. Karen has like a fucking breakdown trying to explain to Andy that Chucky's just a fucking toy. Yeah. The next scene comes along. Andy's getting dropped off at school, and this is what I'm saying. He walked in wearing that same pair of clothes the night before he ended up changed into pajamas with Maggie after getting picked up from school. So he got dropped off from school in the same clothes he was wearing the previous day as well.
It's a single mom, man. She's trying.
She just bought him new clothes. What are you talking about? Where's his new pants?
She's trying.
All right, she's
She
trying.
just lost her best friend. She's trying.
Yeah, I know. Captain Seventh Heaven and all that. She's going through some grieving. But yeah, drops him off at school, and kid walks right the fuck back out after she pulls away. Gets himself on a train. And nobody bats an eye, nobody questions, gets off the train by himself, and nobody bats an eye or bats a question in like this run-down, like post-industrial fucking ghost town section of the city.
It is definitely a northern hood.
Yes. Yeah, it's bad, you know, burned out facades and fucking real nastiness, and an entire lot that is just strewn with random garbage and rubble and tents, and yeah, it's a spooky place that nobody bats an eye that this child is walks through a whole like homeless camp. Nobody bats an eye. The 80s were a wild time for a child if this movie is accurate in any way, shape, or form, and I kind of regret not being just a hair older. But yeah, Andy's essentially being led by Chucky, told where to go to lead him to his good buddy.
Eddie
Caputo, yeah. So his brain completely froze there for a moment. They're out in the snow, and Andy's just like, you stay here, sits Chucky on a rocking chair, and wanders off into a junk heap to take a pee. Wild and exciting times indeed. Turns around, Chucky's gone. We get that first person camera again racing across the street.
Ready to mention that.
Right.
But this is actually kind of the first glimpse of you actually seeing like the doll move, because at one point when he goes into the house, you know, turns the gas on in the like you see the doll
hands, yes,
turn on the oven, but blow out like the pilot light because it's a gas oven. Kids that live in, you know, in the South probably don't know what these are.
Look, I know about that life.
But turns on the gas oven, but blows out the pilot light, so the whole house is just filling with gas the whole time. And then that's kind of your first glimpse that it's the doll and not Andy.
Right, definitively Chucky moving, seeing him interact with objects. When he comes into the house initially, you just see his fingers curl around the door. Really cool effects. Do we know if this is like puppetry that they're like doing here, or the animatronics?
Possibly.
Like, or just like
I
an
know
animatronic
I read
arm.
like animatronics and in a few scenes an actual kid.
Right.
There might have been some like puppet like effects also as well, but I don't know that for a fact.
Right. So we get Eddie. Eddie hears a noise coming from downstairs, gets up, grabs his revolver, and starts making his way down. As Andy begins looking for did I have to say country? Chucky, walking around the house, nearly getting in the sights of Mr. Eddie.
Yeah, I will say Eddie's a real just fucking cowboy, just shooting his gun all wild,
willy-nilly, man.
Oh yeah, he's a real fucking cowboy status.
Man shoots first and asks questions later. Like just steps around the
I don't
corner
even
and
think he
starts.
had time to ask questions because he was shooting again.
Yeah, he turns the corner and starts unloading, and it's like. But he does not start unloading when he turns towards the window and sees Andy walking by.
Sees Andy, yeah.
Thankfully.
It would have been a real short movie if he did that.
Right? Fuck, game over. All right. But then kicks in the door to the kitchen and immediately opens fire again.
To when the gun hitting the gas blows up house.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Eddie.
Andy just wandering outside of this joint. But yeah, it's a really good death. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite death, but it's a really good death. Because the whole facade, right? Just because the whole building facade explodes outward and then falls forward and out, and it's just really satisfying. There's something about a whole house exploding is satisfying. Karen gets called to the police station, doesn't know why. Mike has picked up Andy at the scene of the crime. And Karen does not realize that her son had disappeared from school. Obviously, being chained to her jewelry desk at work keeps things like that. Things that are illegal that are happening that I don't know if they were illegal in the 80s. Maybe they weren't. Questioning a
'cause,
minor.
you definitely can't interrogate a minor and record them at the same time without an adult present.
Yeah, I
Without
think
their
a parent
or
has to be
guardian
present. Right?
Yes. That is definitely a law.
I do appreciate that Chucky is sitting in the chair next to Andy, like he's part of the interrogation as well. But yes, Andy ends up getting taken off with a psychiatrist, a therapist. I'm not sure. He works in a full-size hospital, though. We established later on. But yeah, they pretty much just say, maybe it'd be better if Andy stays with us. Which I guess is the only thing she can do. I don't know what would happen if she took him home with her at this point. But she goes home, sits down to have a conversation with Chuck. Does she talk to him at first? Or
Well, so basically, like when they're at the police station, like Andy's trying to get Chucky to talk in front of everybody and starts like, kind of roughhousing the doll, which if it was the original screenplay, he would have been bleeding all over the place.
Right.
So I digress.
I would have liked that.
But and then that's when Andy proceeds to tell like the cops and his mom that that Chucky told him if he told anybody about him, being alive, that Chucky would kill him. And so then this is when Karen goes back home with Chucky, and she pretty much kind of sits him down and just says, okay, talk, try to get him to talk like, Andy says he does.
Right,
And
she doesn't want to
this
believe her
is
son's nuts and a murderer.
one of my favorite scenes, because then she goes in the kitchen to where the empty box is.
Yeah.
And just kind of, just looking at the box, trying to, get any kind of answers of why her son's saying all this. And then out comes the batteries.
Right.
And she gets the whole batteries included
included
on the side of the box. And then that's when she cautiously walks up to Chuck and to check his battery slot, and no batteries. And then Chucky springs the light, or no, he says something.
Spins
Did
his
he
head
say like,
around.
"Hi, I'm Chucky" or something like that?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?
Yeah.
And she drops him and he conveniently rolls under the couch.
Oh no, he definitely, as soon as he hits, he definitely rolls on his own under the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you've seen our other episodes, you have heard us famously say, white peopling. She kneels down to peek under the couch to see if he's there. And this is where you get the this is where you just get Chucky just being full on Charles Lee Ray, you fucking bitch, and all this other stuff just springs to life, and it is one of my favorite beats of the whole movie, of him just springing the life on him.
Right. To quote Chucky, as she's holding him up, fireplace open, threatening to put him inside of it. You stupid bitch, you filthy slut, I will teach you to fuck with me. Or I'll teach you to fuck with me. So eloquent, Chuck. Yeah, and then proceeds to bite her arm, which, like, time does not much time passes, but that shit looks hella infected later on. But yeah, this causes her to throw him, and he dips.
Yeah, and then that's when he leaves the apartment and down the elevator and out the door. That's when Karen tries to chase him down, and then ends up at the police station to talk to Mike.
Right, as Mike's coming out, demanding information. I think at this point she wants to go to his house because she's asking questions.
But
Mike,
this is where she tries to find the homeless guy she bought the doll off of.
right. Mike won't help her initially, but then follows her because she's about to have a real bad time. I think, okay, so yeah, after that, then that's when Mike takes her, and he's taking her home because he tries to get her out of the car.
Yeah, so like they find the homeless guy. He basically tries to, like, that's when all the homeless people start like crowding around her, and he has her bent over in a very precarious position.
Yeah, he's trying to do a little something.
Yeah, he is, and then Mike saves her, and then that's when he tries to take her home, and then she tries to find out like where Charles Lee Ray lives, and because this is where Mike tells her that he was on the case and he killed Charles Lee Ray and all of that, and then she wants to know wants to know where he lives and all that. And then as she goes off to his house, this is where you get the Mike driving in his car, and he has a little passenger in his back seat.
Yes, I was gonna say, they get it out of the peddler that the doll was found at the toy shop or whatever, the burned out toy store.
Yeah.
And that's where we get the connection of Charles Lee Ray dying there, and Mike kind of getting his first little connection to it, but still not being on board. But yes, we do get Mike. Chuck rises in the back seat and begins strangling the shit out of him.
Yeah.
To which he gets out of that, and Chuck begins working a knife through the seats, trying to stab him in the back, which is a very kind of slapstick sort of
cartoony
filming,
like typical Tom and Jerry type of cartoon little scene, and it is pretty funny.
Right. This might be one of my favorite scenes in the film. I'll say that probably. Because it's very cartoonish. It's almost funny in the way that Chucky had humor before becoming.
Stab it through the back of the car seat, and then
He comes
he's
up underneath.
under his seat, and then he's stabbing up, and you have Mike basically like on his feet on the seat trying to steer the car still, and then ends up flipping the car and crashing.
And this is Mike could have stopped this very quickly at this point, because Chucky stops trying to stab him with the knife, and he's holding down like the gas pedal and shit. Like, this would have been the perfect opportunity to like grab him by the head and like throw him out the window, or just like beat him against the dashboard until his head broke or something. But we don't get any of that. What we do
You're
eventually,
being way too sensible.
I guess I am. What we do eventually get is Mike flipping the car. I'm not sure if he was wearing a seatbelt. I don't think he was, because he falls to the roof pretty quickly.
I think he
had to get out of it.
off.
Yeah.
I think he took it off while he was being strangled in order to get like the cigarette lighter to burn
Yes.
Chucky's face, and that's how he gets out of being strangled.
This is kind of the first witnessing we get of Chucky being able to be injured too, because up to this point, Chucky's under the impression that he's untouchable, he's invincible, he can't be hurt, yada yada, whatever. The cigarette lighter definitely hurt and burned his face, and he after the flip, after the car flip, and really just kind of fucking with Mike, like playing with his food hardcore. He tries to come through like the back window or whatever of the flipped over car and gets shot through the chest. And I'll say that every time Chucky gets shot, it's fucking hilarious to me.
Oh my god.
Because the physics on that boy, the physics.
It is so great. I mean, it is a pretty heavy revolver though.
Yeah, he's getting like hit with a fucking like slug.
2-3
but
foot fucking doll. Like, come on, man.
it is just funny as hell.
It does not change the fact that it is hilarious.
Man's just flies like spinning off into the distance. It's incredible. But yeah, he gets shot and he takes off. That leads us on and into Chucky showing up next day at the, or no, this is where he shows up at Joe's, right? Because after
John.
John, yeah, because after this, Mike, has to believe now. So, Chucky figured something might happen. He goes to pay attention to John. Pay attention to? Pay a visit
Actually,
to.
I think before that, and they're even leaving it out in the synopsis, is when Karen is at Charles Lee Ray's house, and then Mike just weird,
Oh yeah,
creepily
where
shows
Mike
up in the
fucking weirdly
shadows,
shows up.
just like standing behind her the whole time. It doesn't say a word, and then finally, says something and scares the shit out of her.
You are
And then that's
100%
when
correct.
they see, that's when they see, what's the name, John Bishop, which is
Yes.
basically the guy that taught Charles Lee Ray all about voodoo and how to use it and all that stuff. And then it goes to Chucky being meeting up with John.
Right, and I'm kind of, because when they were initially discussing it, and Karen was like, I want to see his house, da da da. Mike said, like, I was on the case, I was there, I've seen it, I've already been there, there's nothing there, da da da, whatever. How did he fail to mention this exactly? Like, the big mural and all of the weird, like, mannequin and doll statues, and
he knew that was, he was associated. He knew that they were associated together because he mentioned it.
that's fair. I guess showing up there was just his
But
next
again, he
logical,
thought-
like, she probably
He thought
went.
Charles Lee Ray was dead, so there's nothing to investigate.
Yeah, I guess being strangled by the guy you thought was dead is in doll form would change your opinion then. I don't know what sent him there, and but yeah,
To the house?
yeah, to his house, unless he just kind
Because
of
he knew Karen
Karen
was looking for it.
right, knew Karen was gonna go, but
Yeah, and then after he got confirmation that the doll was alive, he's like, "Oh shit, I need to."
I should probably go there. I should probably find her.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. But yeah, you
The
are
math is
right.
mathing.
The math is mathing. But you're right. That was actually read out of the synopsis that we have pulled up for this today.
Yeah, it was a short little like scene, but yeah, it threw them on the onto his associate John Bishop.
It was a short scene, but it's a really important scene, and I think I think it might be one of the best set scenes of the film. Just with the artwork and everything, like it's creepy, it's weird, and the big mural, and you get to see Charles Lee Ray's painted like doll arm cock, which
Yeah, you pointed that one out.
he was. I feel like he was probably being real generous with himself there, but yes, they go through that whole sequence, and then we get to Charles going to John's house, demanding that he tell him how to fix it. Like, hey, look, I got shot and I'm bleeding and it fucking hurt. So you're gonna tell me how to fix this? To which John, scolds him. He's like, no, you took everything that I taught you and you perverted it. You made it evil. You used it for bad.
Yeah, he pretty much told him like the longer he stays in the doll, the more he's going to become human inside the doll.
Right, you're going to be stuck in that body forever once the change is complete. Chuck Mans to be told, tell me how to fix this, how I can change this. John refuses.
This part's pretty brutal.
Yeah, this is one of those. It's up there for me on the list of kills, even though technically he wasn't dead by the time they find him. But pulls out a voodoo doll and is like, I gotta use what you taught me, and da 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 da. Proceeds to start breaking his bones until he tells him how to fix his predicament, and that is to perform the voodoo ritual to transfer his soul into the body of the first person he revealed himself to. which sounds kind of made up on the spot, but go figure, it works.
That's voodoo, baby.
That's voodoo, baby. That's a misappropriation of culture, baby.
God, I could just see somebody in New Orleans listening to this. How dare you?
How fucking dare.
Oh, if this doesn't get us hate mail, I don't know what will.
If you are a Haitian voodoo princess, please God, do not do anything bad to me. I'm not associated with this. I am respectful.
We're just reviewing a movie.
It's just a movie, man. I'm sorry.
From there, after John tells him how to, get off his doll form, that's when he proceeds to stab the voodoo doll,
him.
which
Yeah, solid. We like.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
It's a good kill. Yeah.
And then later on, Karen and Mike find him, and somehow he's still alive just enough to, tell Karen to, basically get your boy, get your boy now.
Chucky arrives at the mental. I'm gonna take it back to that. This is where we are, however. Chucky arrives at the mental institution at this point, right?
Yeah.
There's no missing scenes in between this.
And because this is actually pretty great because Andy's in his room and I forget what draws him to the window. I don't know if he's just looking. Was he just looking out the window, or I don't know if he heard a noise or something. But like he looks out the window and he just sees Chucky like crawling up the stairs on the outside.
Yeah, it kind of rounds the corner.
Flips out and is banging on the door, like doing anything, get the doctor's help. He's gonna kill me.
He pushes the chair up and climbs up, looking out the bar, is fucking screaming for his life. And the doc opens the door and goes to take him out. Shit, I'm sorry. Because he gets into the room. That's right. Okay, 3, 2, 1. They ignore Andy. Chucky ends up there. He has the keys from, I think, the guard's desk.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in the room to see a lump underneath the blankets on the bed.
The oldest fucking trick in the book, Chuck.
Pulls the blanket back to find it's just a pillow underneath the blankets. Andy's hiding under the bed.
Trick in the book.
Makes a break for it, grabbing the keys on the way out. Does not lock. He doesn't lock Chuck in the room. He just grabs the keys and goes. I mean, even
not that Chucky goes through the door. He goes through the fucking window with the wide ass bars that Andy probably could have fit through.
Yeah, Andy could have climbed out that fucking window. But yeah, no, he didn't go out. He went out the window anyway, so locking him in wouldn't have mattered. And Andy's just making a break, and ends up in a surgical room before he's finally caught up to by his doctor, who is trying to give him a sedative. All the while, poor kid is screaming his head off that he's about to be murdered by a doll that is actually there and on his way to murder him. Man, the kills get so good in this.
Yeah, because this is another mention of.
This is up there for the favorite.
Foreshadowing of what could be one of the favorite kills.
It's up there
of the movie. Puts the little. I don't even know how to describe it because it's almost like an electric chair, kind of like headpiece.
It's like for electroshock therapy.
Electric shock therapy, yeah, thank you. But puts that on the doctor and clearly turns it all the way up because this man's face is just bleeding and black from electricity running through it,
charring.
Yeah, literally smoking out of nose, ears, mouth, everything. It was pretty good.
Man's acted the hell out of getting electrocuted to death. Really
Like,
foul,
yeah, one
man.
shot, one opportunity. Right? You know, going back to the Eminem reference.
Right. Brody took it. Brody got it. He knew the assignment. Fucking the best acting at getting electrocuted ever.
And then this is kind of where we had a little discussion, because the next scene, Andy is all of a sudden home
Yeah.
after leaving the hospital. Like, how close is this hospital to his house? Because it's a 6-year-old that knows his way from the hospital
to home.
to his house.
Yeah, he either lives right next door to it, or there's a massive time jump where he's just on a fucking train or something.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, how the hell does the 6-year-old know his way home from the hospital?
Movie magic, Andy Barclay, I don't know, man. Like, the kid's freaking a prodigy of some sort. Either way, it's impressive.
This is, he gets home, barricades the front door, locks it, puts all this stuff in front of it, and then proceeds to hide in his closet with the blinds wide open on, because it's like the bifold doors with the blinds that open and close. Just has it wide open, hiding in his closet. I'm like, bro, that.
Yeah, you can see full ass daylight through these things.
But then he finds his good guy bat, and it's game on from there.
Which still bothers me. Like, you are in a hiding place. Just stay low, ducked out. Have that the bat wrenched back, ready to friggin' bust a head open.
That's not Andy Barclay's style, bro.
Yeah,
he's ready for a fight.
He's strapped up, and
he's 6 years old, and he's ready for a fight.
Fucking Andy out, Sam Fishering his way through the house, peeking around doors.
Yeah, as Chuck comes through the fireplace, because again, was this on the top floor? Because what apartment buildings have a fucking fireplace?
I think they live on the 6th floor or something like that.
It had to be the top floor, because the only way you're having a fireplace in an apartment is by being on the top floor. Because if there's a floor above you, you're not getting the fucking fireplace unless the fireplace is in the same spot from floor 1 all the way up to the top floor.
Right.
That's the only way that's working.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, because they're not at the top. Like, when Maggie gets knocked out of the window, she's coming from
that may have been from, because I know they were on the 6th floor, so that apartment building may have only had 6 floors.
Could be. I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're at the top. Hammer, window. No, they're second floor down from the top.
Then how is there a fucking fireplace?
Maybe the top floor, maybe the top floors do have a fireplace, and like it just runs up through the next apartment.
Yeah, but then when that floor is lighting a fire, all the smoke is going into the floor above it. Because there'll have to be a floor where like the wood or gas goes.
Yeah.
Where the gas is, there's a floor in the fireplace. So yeah, that shit makes no sense.
Well, I mean, it's a gas fire. Gas fires don't have smoke.
Yeah, they would.
Well, gas fires don't smoke. Gas is a clean burning fuel. I don't think gas fires smoke.
Then there's a chimney that he climbs through outside of the building to get in.
I imagine the heat is still like charring up the inside of the fireplace.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we spend too much time trying to figure out how this fucking fireplace works.
We have.
Yeah,
we really
yeah.
have.
Either way, Andy, and getting back to where we were, Andy's, like I said, Sam Fishering his way through the fucking house, but ends up getting himself knocked out in what is an incredibly satisfying turnaround of his bat to the back of his own head. I was satisfied
it's
by
a nice little
It's a
Nice little
thunk.
thunk.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a nice little thunk. Andy's down, and Chuck begins the ritual once more. We do get the rad scene like you mentioned in the trailer, him stalking down the hallway with the flash of the knife by his side, and then back to the first person coming down the hall.
Yeah, that's a little later because that's after
third
Mike
person.
and Karen get in the into the apartment to stop the ritual.
Not
And
just
then,
yet. That well, there's a scene like that before that because before Andy gets knocked out, that happens where he's stalking down the hall.
okay.
We get one of those kind of. It's I guess it's not a first person. It's third person. You see his shoes and the knife. Or
Yeah, you kind of see and it slowly pans up and like you see his shoes and then you see the knife in his hand and yeah,
right.
it's really really cool scene.
And the whole chase on Andy is pretty great too because it flashes between like
dude,
hit the first person perspective and then like a face cam perspective on Chucky.
The fucking layout of this apartment, by the way,
yeah,
is fucking weird. There are two ways into every fucking room in this apartment somehow, but that's just the wannabe architect in me talking.
like I said, it's like a.
I won't get into that as much as I got into the fucking chimney thing.
Right, and it is a floor plan of hallways essentially. Because every room has a way in and a way out. It's kind of impressive. But yeah, after that, Andy is getting away, gets bopped in the head. Karen and Mike are on their way up the stairs when the ritual is starting. And again, we get the storm cloud effects over the building. But Karen yanks Chucky off at the last moment. And he goes in for another bite, gets tossed across the room. I don't understand why people keep tossing this doll when they have him in a weakened state or in an advantageous position.
It's literally the ragdoll effect.
You
pick it up and you just
pick it up and toss. Well, this time it costs Mike the back of his leg because he tosses Chuck, who immediately gets up, pulls the blade out of his coveralls and slices him up in the back of the leg before once again disappearing off in the room and not taking his opportunity to kill this man that he's sworn to kill.
Well, he hits him. He kind of hits him with the bat, with the end of the bat, and then hits him across the head and kind of knocks him out with the good guy bat, which is not an actual size bat, by the way.
No, it's not a
It's
full size bat.
A miniature size bat that apparently packs a fucking punch.
I imagine, it's got that fucking wallop spring loaded or some shit. But yeah, Mike makes the dumb decision to get down on his knees and look under the bed, leaving himself open and exposed for Chuck to deliver that bat attack to the gut, which Chuck's got to be strong as shit if he can charge you, hit you in the gut with the butt of the bat, and then bust you in the jaw.
Have you ever been hit with that end of the bat? It doesn't feel good, man.
Not by a doll, so I couldn't tell you.
Good point. Fair.
We get more Chuck physics as Karen bursts in the room after. I really like the swing he takes on Mike's jaw. It's just satisfying. Every use of the bat is kind of satisfying, I think.
This is where we get your wonderful doll physics, because Karen shoots him in the leg and he just flies into the wall.
I swear, every time he gets shot, he fucking spins, and it's fantastic. Pissed off, he starts chasing Karen, gets his little nibbles in on her neck some more, tries to, and she gets him into the fireplace. Again,
that still makes no sense why there's a fireplace, but we're not getting into that again.
We've already talked enough about the fireplace. And now we can talk about how she's an idiot who grabs a log and puts it against the fireplace.
Well, no, she's holding it there.
Well,
Andy's just sitting there staring at her the whole time, being a useless little fucking brat, as she's literally calling to him.
Andy's traumatized as fuck.
Matches fall all over the ground. Andy finally springs to action and lights the match and throws it into the fireplace, which lights Chucky on fire. Then she does the log
She
because
puts
she's
the
not
log.
smart.
She puts the log.
We're seeing the family dynamics here. The kid doesn't know how, doesn't know when to spring the action. She doesn't know how to hold a doll in the fireplace.
Apple doesn't.
We see the
fall
family
far from the tree.
dynamics here.
It's a huge fire too. Like it comes out of the fireplace.
Well, no, she turned the gas on. The gas was running the whole time.
Oh, yeah,
It was
yeah,
just
yeah.
Sitting there frozen. So yeah, like there was a lot of gas built up in that fireplace.
It's a big
so, yeah,
fire.
It's gonna be a big fire.
And then Chuck breaks out because, the log's not going to fucking hold him. Dummy. You're dummy. Maybe 2 logs, one on each side might have held him, but you're a dummy. He gets out and begins climbing across the couch. They never put the fire out, I'm convinced, at any point. Because Chuck burns down to grossness. And they get up and go check on Mike. But the couch was on fire. I saw it. The cushion was on fire and rolled off the couch. So there's a flaming cushion somewhere. You've gone rogue in your living room.
And some say it's still burning to this day.
It might be, honestly. It could be some Silent Hill type shit in this motherfucker. You don't know. You can actually kind of see the living room from that space and nothing's on fire, but then we go in and we have Andy running to get the med kit and we clearly see fire still. But we also see the trope now where the killer is gone. You thought you got him, but no.
Oh, the just the melted fucking charred body of like that is.
It is super gross.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
As you mentioned while we're watching it, Dead by Daylight behavior. Could you license up this skin? Like this would be a dank fucking skin to have for Chucky.
Okay, I'm just saying when this comes out, we will have where we came up with the idea first.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like,
it's on.
If they run with this. We did come up with this first.
Right, it's recorded.
They show their receipts.
It's on the internet. We have
That's all
dates and times.
They need to show their fucking receipts.
Right. Look, I don't want money. Just give me some, give me some cells.
Can we just
pay me in like
maybe put my name on the game or something? I don't need money from it. Just like like when they're doing the anniversary and they have all the quotes from all the people involved with the game. Like, can we just
let me put in a quote.
Hey, the skin idea, Hobbs and RJ,
Right? Yeah, we can get us in there, man.
Let's
behavior, work with us.
Maybe, can we
or
get
something?
Behind the scenes thing of the game or something.
Right? Can I just have like a skin? Anyway, enough pandering. Yes, but Andy makes a run for it to let everybody know that Chucky is on the move and finds himself tripped in the hallway and pursued. He gets to his mother. Karen gets out there. She has a gun. We get Chucky getting shot. We don't get dummy doll physics, but parts do get blown off.
Yeah, it wasn't the big revolver this time. It was just like,
like 9mm or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't get the dummy physics on that one.
It blows his head off and he keeps coming, blows his arm off and he keeps coming. I think shoots his leg off as well, which finally stops him from walking for the moment. Another point, we are given this idea, an indication that maybe Chuck is dead. The body kind of drags itself until it falls still, and they return to Mike. Eventually, Mike's partner. What is Mike's partner's name?
Jack.
Jack shows
Jack
up.
Santos. Jack Santos.
There we go. Jack Santos shows up, is walking through the apartment and finds all the bits and pieces. Finds Mike and everybody. And Mike tells him, hey, killer fucking doll, by the way, real thing, awful shit. That thing in the hallway.
See all of his pieces scattered in the hallway.
Right, you can see them scattered through the hallway. Don't touch it. Of course.
He proceeds to go in the hallway and picks up the fucking head.
Pokes at the head for a little bit.
Into the room, puts it on the mantle and starts smacking it. as Mike says, "I told you not to fucking touch it."
Which we get a nice little jump scare showing Chucky's still not dead as his body comes to the ventilation unit and begins choking Jack the fuck out.
The head gets kind of knocked over to the ground as Chucky, the head, is telling his body,
Kill 'em all!
"Fucking kill him! Fucking kill them all! Fucking get him! Fucking kill them all!" I'm
It's
just
a
like, you have
really
to tell your body. It is just. I'm sorry, I found that fucking hilarious.
It's a really fun scene. Fun and funny. He finally throws the body off and it continues groping around, trying to murder and limping its way while the head continues telling him to kill them all. And Karen reveals, which I think Mike should have known this too, but Karen reiterates, I guess, shoot him in the heart. Finally ending.
Mike sharpshooter right through the heart.
Oh yeah. Shot through the heart. Yeah.
Bon Jovi, please don't sue us.
Don't sue me, Bon Jovi. I'm kind of a fan. Ends with one last "Hi, I'm Chucky, wanna play?" as the life drains out of him.
It goes from his voice to a distorted, like, doll voice, and that is actually pretty cool how to end the movie.
Right, that dying battery effect. Mike asks Jack, "You believe me now?" And Jack responds, "Yeah, but who's gonna believe me?" And I guess, even though you have 4 witnesses corroborating an event, it might still be unbelievable that a good guy doll is responsible for the murders that have been happening around town. But still, good stuff. Andy watches a little longer. Karen comes and grabs him because I'm sitting here screaming, even though I know it's going to happen. Like, no, stop it. Walk away, you fucking kid. Just. Why even stand there? Why? That thing is trauma. Trauma and melted plastic. But we get the close out of the film. Andy leaving the room. Chucky's dead eye focused on the door as it's closed. And yeah, that's Child's Play, baby. A classic, a great movie, a fun movie. They went directions with it as it went on, but as far as where it started and the story behind how it started, great movie with wild background. Fun stuff. Definitely recommend.
We found some juicy stuff on this, and stuff, well, stuff that I thought was like really fascinating you already knew about, but then like the more of the rabbit hole we started to really dig into, like, it was it was something.
It wasn't a shutout of information at all. I might have known a few things, but as we fell deeper into the rabbit hole, it's like, wow, that happened. Wow, that's a thing. Wow, that they hate each other. Everything's fucked.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I now know of Robert the Doll now too, because that is gonna have to happen.
Well, like I said, boy, we got to make it a little road trip. Let's go. I'm in. Hey, if anybody listening wants to see a little road trip,
we could get a little GoPro and just like take it with us.
All right, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, email us, comment, send us DMs on socials, comment on our feeds. But anyway, yeah, great movie. If somehow you've never seen Child's Play, go watch Child's Play, man. Chucky is a bit foul-mouthed, but he's got the proper attitude. It's man, it's so good. It's so good, and it became something so much greater, and then it got really bad at some point, but it was still good.
Got the cult following. Even the bad movies, I would still watch.
Oh yeah, even the bad movies, crazy. I like them. Like Seed of Chucky, fucking Bride of Chucky, I still love them both. And Jennifer Tilly just falls into like long ago Hobbesies type of lady in Hollywood. It was like Joey Lauren Adams and Jennifer Tilly and Renee Zellweger, and they all have kind of that same face and voice.
I'm pretty sure they're all three of them are the same person.
Right, they're all the same
I am
person.
fully convinced they are all the same person.
Yeah. My type was scrunchy face and eyes and weird raspy voice. But yeah, no, great film. Go watch it if you've never seen it. And even if you have seen it, go watch it again. RJ, this is where we wrap up and go into our segment, The Instant Replay, where we go ahead and talk about our favorite kills of the film, our least favorite kills of the film, favorite scenes, least favorite scenes. You know how it goes. Here we go. RJ, starting us off, favorite kill of the film and your least favorite or least necessary kill of the film, if you've got one.
So I am torn on the favorite. Because I thought in my head yesterday while watching the movie, I'm like, yep, I have my favorite. This is it, hands down. But then as we're going over the movie tonight, and then just the voodoo part of when he's breaking John's leg and then
So
breaks
good.
his arm to get him to talk, and then ends it by stabbing him. I think what's not going to have this as my favorite kill is just how long he lived afterwards, because dude, no. That got a little, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little too critical with it, so I would have to say the doctor getting the electric shock therapy.
Yeah,
So
that's
good.
fair.
It's so good.
It's
But
really
I had a
good.
feeling that was going to be yours too. That's why I brought up the other one, because that one, the voodoo killing, was really, really good too.
I think we were both stuck between those two regardless.
Yeah. I mean,
really
those are
good
the only
kills.
two you really see like on screen.
I mean, you
Besides Maggie, but we both, already concluded Maggie did the suicide by doll.
yeah.
So-
Suicide by doll.
So I would say, so I'm gonna go with that one's not like, that's not my like, oh, should have never happened. It's just, come on, you were asking for attention and it went too far kind of situation.
I said, I'm amazed she didn't hit the street with how far she threw herself out that window. Yeah, no, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Scene in the film. I know there are a few camera styles that you like, but
So yeah, if we're just going straight camera style, the first person with Chucky was cool, but just the way he's stalking the hallway and you got shows his feet and it slowly pans up to the knife in his hand, and then you just see the shadow in front of him. So good.
is it when
It's so good. I just love that whole thing.
right on? Fair enough.
So did you actually say what your favorite kill was, or was
No.
it the doctor?
I was letting you get.
Okay.
I was letting you get through. I'm not gonna cut in and be like,
Okay,
yo, mine. Fuck you, mine. Only important.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up. So my favorite kill. Yeah, I'm in between the voodoo and the doctor. Like, they're both really good. John, unfortunately, like, it's weird that he lasted that long enough for, I almost said Maggie.
Yeah, that's what
for
kinda
Karen and
threw it off
Mike
for
to
me.
find him. Yeah, because I mean, he should have died right then and there. Chucky stabbed him in the fucking heart. Getting stabbed in the heart is an instantaneous like death. That's why it's kind of least painful way to go out is instantaneous heart rupture, I suppose. But I still want to put it on there for the effect, just because he did die because of those wounds, even if it took him like 30 minutes to an hour to get around to it. I would have been over by the time the bones were broken. Like, if I didn't die by that point, fuck it, game over. Hell, that's hard. I appreciate just going over the kills in the film. I mean, Charles Lee Ray's death in the beginning, the death of his shell, I suppose. The build up to that is fun and good. Like, there's good I want to say dialogue exchange, but it's really just him yelling obscenities and how he's going to
Yeah, I
kill
was
people.
gonna say there's really not a lot of dialogue there. It's
And-
more just like a chase scene more than anything else.
And if I can say, like, Chucky might be one of my favorite characters in like personality and his voice, because it's so iconic and identifiable, and the laugh and up there with the Joker.
It does throughout the whole series, even the bad movies, the dark humor and the horror aspect blended together, and all of the movies are just so good. And that's why I've always been drawn to Chucky.
Definitely, because there is that sense of slapstick amongst the mayhem. But yeah, Eddie's death was kind of cool, just because I am a man and I do like explosions. I am a simple creature.
Fair. Fair.
Made the point the other day, I don't care the reason for a man's balls or whatever getting mutilated in a horror movie. I'm just happy to see people get fucking murdered in horror. That is my entertainment in horror, is the misery of others. Special kind of Schadenfreude. Yeah, so the explosion and the way that the house came down, you don't see him die, but it was a fun way to go. But I'll go with, did you go with the doctor here?
Yes,
Just
I did.
tagging back to it. Then I'm gonna go with Voodoo John, because it's a very intense and awesome scene and build up. Least favorite or most unnecessary is gonna be Maggie. I wish she didn't have to die, because I kind of like her. She got attitude, she got spunk and spirit.
She needed to. Chucky said it best. She was a fucking bitch, and she got what she deserved.
She's a bitch and she got what she deserved. Man. Don't be like Chucky, kids. He's a bad influence. But yes, least necessary. I didn't want her to die. I wish she didn't have to, but it happens. Favorite scene, like, I know you went with essentially camera work, anything that had to do with Chuck, in his first person, or like the hints and I almost said tits at him. And I don't know what I was trying to say. I think I was going for hints and tips, and that's a weird thing to say too. But yeah, the little hints at him, the little peeks at him moving about. And I was going to comment on that, where with him coming off the elevator, and it's like definitively like a child or a small person inside of a doll suit, and just how kind of funny it looks, but also how awesome it looks at the same time. But you can definitely tell Chucky is bigger than his doll self in those scenes. The reveal of Charles Lee Ray's house or apartment or whatever the fuck he was living in might be one of my favorite scenes, just in a reveal sense, because the art, the mural and the statues and everything, it's a really cool set. I like the set pieces of that scene. Trying to think of another scene that I might love. I might just go back to the explosion because I'm a simple boy. But
I'm gonna have some honorable mentions when you're done, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, let's discuss. I think I'm gonna settle on the reveal of the room, or Chucky revealing himself to Karen finally.
Yeah, that was gonna be one of my honorable mentions.
Wait,
if you
right.
weren't gonna say it.
with just coming in and immediately the potty mouth. Yeah.
'Cause that was another one we both mentioned while watching.
Right.
This scene is so good. You fucking bitch. You whore.
Right. I think I'm gonna go with that as the reveal, because again,
yeah, especially the part, because I was gonna mention not just that part of them, but like when she picks up the box and the batteries fall out, like that.
Yeah,
part
that reveal
is so good.
Like, I wish so much that they could have kept it a proper mystery up until that point in the movie.
I mean, that's a good, like, it's what, just under an hour and a half, and that's a good almost an hour into the movie when that finally is revealed that the batteries were never in 'em.
Definitely. And I mean, like, it's good for the reveal for her and everything, but I feel like with the audience, if they could have kept it
Oh, got you.
more
Okay.
obtuse,
Got you.
building up to that, and then hit the
Mhm.
audience with that as well, I think, that would have been an amazing effect. That's why I need the Blood Buddy cut. Somebody get me the Blood Buddy cut. Fuck, I'll pay whatever. Hey, if you want to donate to our fund to have the Blood Buddy cut of Child's Play produced,
GoFundMe.
you can find us over at Patreon.
So my one last honorable mention
All right.
of scenes. It's a very underrated, very quick scene, and it's when he darts out of the apartment right after he revealed himself to Karen. Every time I say that, I feel like he flashed her.
Yeah, right.
But anyway,
Whipping
when he
his little
revealed
rubber
that
doll
he's
dick at her.
alive,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that he's alive, and then he's in the elevator going. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, this is when he was coming after Andy from
When he
the,
was
from
coming
the
up.
hospital. Yes, and coming up in the elevator, and it's that old couple in the elevator, and oh my God, it looks like a kid left their doll in here, and then they're leaving the elevator, and the old woman, it's so ugly,
so
and then
ugly.
as the elevator's going up, you just hear Chuck, fucking fuck you.
Right.
It's such a it is probably like one of the funniest parts of the whole movie, and it's so like quick, and it's so good because you don't even see like his mouth move, you don't see him move, you just see the elevator going up, and all you hear is just a little subtle fuck you.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take a firm stand today here, boys, girls, and non-binaries, and all the other varieties. I'm gonna take a stand here. I'm gonna say something. I think Chucky might be my favorite slasher of all time. I think I'm gonna give him those flowers here and now.
This sounds like a future idea for an episode when we're done with movies. Ranking our top slashers.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, we want to do some other things down the line, and maybe do some rankings and ratings and tier lists and kind of stuff like that. So we're taking suggestions as well. I don't know if we've talked about taking suggestions, but I'm saying it now.
We have not.
We'll take suggestions as well. If there's anything you want to see us go through, run over, talk about, hey, you know where to find us. We'll go over all the fucking discussion shit later on. We're almost wrapping up here, I do believe.
The one last thing we need to do besides socials is pick the next movie.
That is true, and it is your turn this week, buddy.
It is.
We
And,
each have 2 films apiece, correct?
No, I have one left. You have 2 left.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, you are right. I
So-
forgot to say what episode we were even on because I forgot what episode we were on myself.
So with this one, I'm only picking this movie because I want the other one to be the last one to, end season 1 of the movies. So next week we will do Talk to Me, a movie I have never seen.
I've never seen it either, but it was, people were talking about it as being one of the best horror films of 2023, which is why it made it on my list, because I've heard great things about it. A24 is a fantastic studio. They're always pumping out horror, same as Blumhouse. And of course, there are always misses along with the hits, but this one is apparently a hit and a half. So I haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward to watching this one for sure.
Another blind movie for both of us.
Yeah. Did you ever see the trailer for this one?
I'd never even heard of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I literally know nothing about this movie.
Okay. No, when it was coming out, like, the trailer was on constantly as far as like YouTube ads went and shit. And hey guys, I don't watch a lot of television, but I spend a lot of time on YouTube. So I saw the ad great many fucking times, so I'm really excited to get to sit and watch this one. But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to watching this one. This will be a fun one that neither of us have seen. I only have like a bare bones idea of the premise from the trailer itself. But yeah, that's exciting. And if that okay, so you know what you want to be the last one, and something that's really funny is I don't remember what my film list is, so like I can't even look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's awesome, man, great. I'll look at it later and I'll figure that part out.
I know which one's gonna be the last movie of the season, so
well, that is beautiful. I'll figure it out later. I know what's going to be the next to last film of the season, I guess, because it's the only one left, and that was With Intent. Look forward to that as well, kids. Man, I'm really excited. Like, we've gotten through a lot of these, and it feels like we've been doing this for almost forever at this point.
It does feel like we've been doing this for a long time now.
Right?
It's literally, this was episode 10.
Right?
Oh, 9.
No, okay, this was 9. Hey, kids, by the way, didn't announce that at the beginning. Season 1, episode 9 of the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros. There we go. Anyway, I have that cadence down. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for everything to come. Like I said, it feels like we've been doing this for a while now. Even though it really hasn't been that long per se, I don't think. And I feel like maybe now we're actually starting to get into our stride, because tonight, during this recording here, I think this is the most comfortable I've felt during a recording and just talking, and like I've had my head on straight and wasn't completely scattered. But I think in the last few recordings, we've kind of been finding it a stride. You know, I'm still making tweaks. I still got things going on there. There's things I mentioned I want to get put back into the episodes, and we'll get there. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We'll go ahead and we'll go over where you can find us. The podcast itself, available on Spotify and YouTube. If you're listening right now, you're listening to it on one of those. So, hey, you can find it on the other. Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros. All you got to do is punch it in. You can find it on the Twitter/X and the IG and Blue Skies, which those latter two don't get a lot of use. I would like a social media manager at some point one day to take care of it for me, because it's a daunting task. But you can find us at Hobbesy Horror across the board. Also, you can find me personally. I stream over on Twitch. You can find me over on Twitch. I am at that Hobbesy, and across the board at that Hobbesy on Twitter/X/IG and everywhere else. RJ, the people, they can find you
RJ Warrior 89
over on X, because it's the only one he keeps. RJ Talks Sports, and sometimes the strays cross my feed. I was looking at something today and I had no clue what was going on, but it involved the Jaguars. But yeah,
you will see a lot of Jaguar content, because that's been my team since their inception into the league.
Duval, as I hear them shout. I don't know what it means.
That's the county that's Duval County. That's where they play. That's the city of Jacksonville is in Duval County.
Those words that he said. Also,
there's your sports aspect of the podcast,
right?
The season.
Look, man, now we can tag the Jaguars in like our fucking, search and everything. Like, we're gonna get the sports people over in here finally. Hey, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to insult us or tell us how beautiful our voices are and how amazing we are as people, you can go ahead and email us. Also, suggestions. Did I say suggestions? We would like some suggestions, because as I said, there's some content, tier lists, and good shit down the line that we'd like to do. And hey, we're going to have a season break, so there's stuff that's going to be needed, to fill out some sessions too while life is happening. Email us at hobsyhorror@gmail.com. Really quick, really simple. HOBBEY. I spelled it wrong, didn't I?
You forgot the S.
I definitely forgot the ass. Look, you're here. You know how to spell it. Hobbesy@gmail.com. And we'll be happy to answer anything you might send us. And if you might talk about it here. Who knows? It definitely doesn't go into an endless void where no one will ever see it. We are diligent in looking at our empty inbox. Beyond that, do you have any closing notes, RJ? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to talk about before we go?
I got nothing.
Hey, all right. Kick ass. We're going to close it out then. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, please remember.
Real quick. I apologize. Hey,
no.
Chucky, you got anything? All right. Thanks, Chucky.
Oh, little bitch. Can't talk. That's fine. Talking to you. Fuck you, bruh.
Did you not hear it?
Oh, did he mouth? I didn't hear him.
Oh, yeah, he definitely mouthed. Hold
Oh,
on,
okay.
hold
I'm
on.
real
We
sorry,
can fix
Chucky. I
this.
didn't mean it. Don't fuck me
So,
tonight.
Chucky, you got anything? Chucky? Oh, now he doesn't want to fucking talk because now he knows
Fuck, I
people are
insulted
listening.
him. Man.
Oh,
I ruined
Chuck.
it. Shit.
Anyways.
Hey, anyways, thank you so much for joining us again. Please like, subscribe, do all those good things, and rate us. Please rate us. I have already mentioned on the Twitter, I can't keep threatening without keeping promises, and I can't possibly do everything in everyone's bed all the time. That, travel gets expensive. So yes, please rate us. 5 stars preferably. We don't think you should rate us on what we deserve. We think you should rate us on what we think we deserve, and we greatly appreciate you for it. It's all satire, by the way, kids. We love you. Bye.